Yo, what is the deal, everybody? What is the deal? I'm coming to you live from the great state of Georgia. I am down in the A. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody that's in the room. Almost 200 of you who's in the room. Get wasted with your brother, wasted. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Listen, it's time to break down what happened on the draft, right? Got some UDFAs, some other Raider news. It is all kinds of things going on, y'all. All kinds of things going on. You know, listen, I am down in the A right now, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. My daughter, we had to go to Spellbound for her admittance into Spelman University. You know, parents, we come down, check out everything going on. But having a wonderful freaking time down here. And it's time to get ready, man. It is time to get ready. Yo, shout out to my guy, Shane Neto, man, with the first super of the day. What I say? I said simple. Pick Jeanty, baby. Let's effing go. You damn right, yo. You damn right, yo. Shout out to Joe C, man. Joe C, listen, I resemble that remark. The oldest Raider podcaster out there, wasted. Nah, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm actually not. I think I'm almost certain that Murph is older than I am. I'm almost certain of that. But you know, I am one of the older podcasters. Yeah, I got a kid in college, grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, my guy Brandon Vettel, reporter for Tallahassee, Florida. What's good? What's up, Brandon? What's good, brother? So yo, man. Hey, yeah. My sister-in-law, you know, got the nice curtains in honor of your boy Wasted. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, Captain Jack, too. I forgot about him. Yeah, he's definitely older than me. But, yo, look, man. This draft is one of the greatest drafts, man, in my lifetime. I'm going to be real with you, man. They went after improving the athletic profile of this team. The athletic profile of this team has gone through the roof after this draft, yo. Going through the damn roof. And I'm gonna be real with you. That needed to happen a long time ago, right? They went out there, they got big physical guys. And look, if I'm being honest, they've been doing that all offseason, man. You can clearly see, and from this draft, you could clearly see that Pete Carroll is firmly in control. You can see the archetype of this team, how everything went, how everything was going. Pete Carroll is clearly in control of the room. He's clearly in control. You know, just some of the players that were brought in, you know, the corner that we brought in, you know, the linemen, just all of the free agents. This is a Pete Carroll-led team. Pete Carroll is the Don. They talk about, you know, Tom Brady having a lot of influence. Do I believe Tom Brady has a lot of influence? Yeah, but the only person who's actually gotten it done from a leadership perspective and not on the field is Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's gotten it done at every level of football, and you can tell by some of the things that went on in this draft. Now, I know there were a lot of people who, you know, were kind of upset the way certain things went this draft, right? There's some people who say that this draft, we could have done more because of some of the players that were on the board late in the draft that were notable players that you guys heard of through some of our mock drafts, some of the players that you guys heard of doing your own research and watching college football. Look, one of them, Will Johnson. There are a lot of people who were upset that we didn't take Will Johnson. I am not. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Will Johnson can be a stud. Problem is, man, the guy has a lot of injury concerns. I don't really need a injury-prone corner that I took with premium draft capital. But the premium draft capital is anything from the first to the fourth round to me. I mean, you got to remember, we got Max Crosby in the fourth round. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, I loved it, man. I mean, Thornton, great pickup, man. So we're gonna get into a lot of what went on. We're gonna get into the UDFAs. We're gonna get into some Raider news first. I gotta read a couple of supers, man. Get wasted with your brother, Wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this thing out to all social media. All social media. Oh, my God. Before we get into that, man, let me get up here to my guy, man. Joe, my guy, Michael Van Engelort. I've been a Raiders fan since 1970. Without hyperbole, this is the greatest draft class ever. Superstar, check. Depth in the trenches, 2 elite wide receiver prospects, speed, and watch out for TD Tommy, bruh. Look, I was wondering why the Raiders weren't super active in a free agent wide receiver market. And now I'm glad they weren't, right? Because they did exactly what I wanted them to do. A lot of times, man, with these wide receivers, man, you want to get the best of these guys. You want to be the one to draft them. You want to be the one to draft. You don't want to go out there and bring in a guy that's a miscreant or a guy like a Tyreek Hill. And then now you're in a situation where you're paying a guy big money and now he's a disgruntled miscreant. Now you got to figure out what to do with him. You got dead money on the deal. So going out and getting Jack Beck and Thornton was a phenomenal move. Now, you guys know how I felt about Thornton. You know, I probably took him in every single one of my mock drafts, and you guys dogged me out for it. And I want an apology, damn it. Shout out to everybody, yo. My guy, Brandon Vandal, durability was also a big focus. I noticed. Yes, and yo, it seems to me that they went after high character guys too. Jack Beck doesn't get any more high character than Jack Beck, man. He can block. He goes over the middle. He's a hard worker. I mean, he's a guy that you know went in the SEC when he was with LSU as a freshman and led the team in catches. And that's a team with Brian Thomas Jr. and freaking Malik Neighbors and all of these stud wide receivers down at LSU. And he was the bull of the woods. So this is a guy that when I did the work on him previous to the draft, to me, he is this year's Puka Nacua. To me. Shout out to my guy, DeMokes. Wasted, you okay? You looking like you being held captive. Blink if you need help. LOL. LC MVP incoming, baby. Get the F up out of here, DeMokes. You are so lucky I don't have my soundboard. I'll be blocking that ass right now. Antonio Avila. Good afternoon, Wasted. I give the Raiders draft the overall A-. Bro, I do too. That's exactly how I have this draft graded. And we're going to get into it real soon, man. Yo, my guy, James Williams. I need UA Mel to step in front of the congregation. Where is he? Jeanty! My guy, James Williams. That's nasty work, man. Yeah, UA Mel is somewhere hiding right now. Where the F is UA Mel at? Where the F is UA Mel? And it's crazy, my opinion. I never got angry the whole 3 days too for a change. I didn't get angry at all. I was happy about every freaking pick, man. Yo, my guy, Carl Johnson. My daughter wants to attend Spelman next year. Going to camp there this summer. Congrats. What's the financial aid looking like, bruh? It's little to none. Slim to none, my brother. Slim to none, bro. Slim to none, bro. I'm going to be real with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't been saving up, probably got to take some loans out, my brother. I'm telling you right now, it's not a whole lot of financial aid at all, my brother, especially for my wife and I. So, but shout out to my guy. Yeah, my guy Ronnie Hustle's in a place. Very happy with the draft. Obviously, the Raiders have a solid plan. Hey, what's good, Wasted? What's good, man? Shout out to everybody in the room. So let's start breaking down, right? So, as we all know, right, the Raiders took Ashton Jeanty, man. Now, you know, this pick was a no-brainer, bro. We all wanted Jeanty. A lot of people didn't think he was going to be available. A lot of people thought teams were going to move ahead of him. That didn't happen. And Pete Carroll made it clear what he's trying to do this year, man. And this is what I've been saying the whole offseason, man. He wants to run the football. He wants to run the football. Now, this was a running back heavy draft, man, but Jeanty was the class of this running back class. He's the top. He's this year's top running back by far, man. And I'm going to be real with you. This was the best addition the Raiders made in the last few years, man, besides Brock Bowers, because, you know, sometimes these teams and certain GMs and certain people who are afraid for their jobs, they play things in a scared manner. With Pete Carroll and John Spytek, what I noticed is that they didn't play this safe. They picked the players on their board that they like. They went out there and they addressed need. They got more physical. And listen, they swung high on some guys that they probably didn't think were going to be there, man. Now in college, man, Jeanty was hard to bring down, man. You know what I mean? And I hope that continues in the National Football League. You know, and we spoke about this at nauseam, man. Jeanty had 126 missed tackles, and that's the most in college football. He had 1,733 yards after contact, and 590 and more of those was more than any other college running back, man. And people say the Mountain West, but he was breaking tackles against the big programs too. He had probably his best game against Oregon. So I'm gonna be real with you, man. I think Jeanty is definitely going to translate, man. And the depth at running back should pretty much allow Jeanty to come right in from day one, be a starter, be a factor. You know, I don't see Sincere McCormick being a real threat to him, you know, as running back one, hopefully, or Zamir White. And Zamir White, if he makes this team and they keep him, is more of a complimentary piece at running back anyhow. And Sincere McCormick, you know, did well last year. He's a great complimentary back. I would like Raheem Mostert is definitely a complimentary back. He's been a complimentary back, you know, his whole career. And Mostert is 32 years old, man. He's coming off a quiet season. He looks like he's starting to trend down a little bit. You know, last year he had 278 yards on 85 carries in 13 games, man. You know, so we got to see what he has left in the tank. But this is Jeanty's job, man. He's going to come in there and be a beast, man. And the thing that the Raiders did along with drafting Jeanty, I think is very, very important. When you pick a number one pick and you're addressing a need like rushing the football, you have to make complementary picks as well. You have to make complementary picks as well. And I think Jack Beck is a complementary pick to Jeanty. I think some of the linemen that we took in this draft, you know, are complementary pieces. I mean, and I mean, to be real with you, Caleb Rogers is a guy that, you know, at guard should most likely win one of the starting guard positions. And we talked about this ad nauseum. You know, Caleb Rogers is exactly what we asked for. We brought in Alex Kappa. So if Caleb Rogers is not ready, Alex Kappa could be ready. He's been starting his whole career. He also can, you know, kind of challenge Jordan Meredith. He could challenge guys like Dylan Parham, man. We got competition here. And let me tell you something. When you talk about Rogers, man, it's a guy that played at Texas Tech. He started in 55 consecutive games for the Red Raiders at Texas Tech, primarily at offensive tackle, but Pete Carroll's already said that he's most likely going to be a guard. So, you know, there you go. There goes the starting guard right then and there, man. Right then and there, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother. Wasted. Tell a friend to tell him. We got almost 700 in the room, y'all. Damn, man. Damn. And yo, like my guy Dominique 5 said, yo, we drafted athletes. We drafted athletes, man. The athletic profile of this team has gone through the roof. That's what we needed, some dogs, man. Some dogs. We're going to keep breaking down the rest of this roster, though, man. Yo, my guy, Sean Huggins. What do you think about us not taking Will Howard? I mean, I think that I'm a little surprised by that, right? Because, you know, we're going to get into this, you know, a little later. Two of the, you know, the quarterbacks we drafted, one of them is a fringe guy, good athlete, got a lot of moxie. But the other one is probably going to be converted into a slot receiver, man. So, you know, I don't know, maybe, you know, just by virtue of the fact that that connection that Brady had with Shedeur Sanders and they didn't take him. And also, you know, Chip Kelly being in the room and not taking Will Howard, it kind of speaks volumes to, you know, what they think of these guys, I would think, right? Now, it's tough to say, man, because, you know, you would think that an organization would value the opinion of people who have such close ties to these guys. But maybe Spytek and Pete Carroll are high on Aiden O'Connell, man. I mean, Aiden O'Connell, if you really, really look at him, man, is young. He's durable. And he's been a hell of a backup quarterback. He really has, man. And there's really no good reason to move him. Like, he doesn't really cost you much. He's still in a rookie deal. And he's a guy that you know that if your starter goes down, he can come right in And he can start and he can win you games if he's familiar with the system. Shout out to my man Ben Bad in the place. Shout out to the GOATs in the place. Shout out to Ty Levis, man. Let me get to some more of y'all supers, man. Shout out to everybody in this chat, man. And y'all, everybody, man. Hey, one of the mods, do me a favor, man. Post the membership up to the top of the page. It is the best way to support the channel, man. Shout out to all of y'all, man. My guy, William Salimine. Touchdown Tommy Millette from Butte, Montana in round 6. The Montana State Bobcats. Yeah, man. Yo, Tommy Millette is a quarterback, bro, but he is looking to be, this generation's Julian Edelman. It's already been reported that he is going to be a wide receiver. He's going to be a wide receiver. And look, man, if you guys went and saw any of the highlights on this kid, man, this kid, runs like a faster Hunter Renfrow. The graph was saying that on his Twitter account, man. He was running, the kid got some wheels on him, man. He's fleet-footed. He looks like the kind of guy that, man, could turn into like a Julian Edelman, Wes Welker kind of receiver, man. I loved it, man. Shout out to my guy, Quadre Shamsuddin. Appreciate you for the $5 holla. Shout out to my guy, Quadre Shamsuddin, with the $5 smackaroonie. Salute, soldier. I agree. Great effing draft. Is there any way we can get Callahan back to be the O-line coach? That would be the chef's kiss. Bro, I'm going to be real with you. I don't ever want to see Bill Callahan back in his building again. F Bill Callahan, bro. F him. I feel like he sabotaged the Raiders Super Bowl. I don't ever want to see him don the silver and black again. I can't stand that effing guy. He's a great offensive line coach. Maybe bring his son. I think his son is a head coach somewhere. His son's coaching in Tennessee. But F that guy. Listen, man, Joe Philbin's in the building. Pete Carroll's son's coaching. I think that having Joe Philbin in the building, that you're going to get a pretty good product as far as developing these guys. You got a young coach that they're grooming. I say we rock out with that, man. You can see the difference between the team ever since Joe Philbin took over. Last year, you can see the difference. It's a clear and stark difference. Shout out to Sweet Jazz with the $10 bomb. Finally, now we can talk about players who are actually on the roster. It is clear to me that the Raiders finally have the right professionals in the building. So excited about the wide receiver room. Yes, man. I mean, listen, bro. You could tell that you have a group that is adept at building a football team, building a winner. They went into this draft. There was no nonsense. There was no crap. There was no what the F was that? There are a couple of players that I'm not going to lie that I probably would have liked for the Raiders to pick up. I would have, right? But at the end of the day, it is more so about who fits what they're trying to do. And only they know what they're trying to do in the Raiders building right now. The thing that I noticed, too, about this draft was they were very, very methodical in the way they went about their business. They knew their board. They stuck true to their board. I love the fact that John Spytek was ballsy and he traded down. He traded down, man. And when you trade down, you get value, you get more players. I think the Raiders they had like 11 picks in this draft, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm excited. My guy, Lewis Dixon, wasted. Age is relative. There's always people younger. There's always people older. I got you by a lot. But there's plenty of older than me. And I've been a fan for 56 years when I was 7, but still feel young. Well, Lewis Dixon, man, you don't look a day over 99. I'm messing with you, Lewis Dixon. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Yeah, man, listen, bro. Age, look, let me tell you something, man. Not to get off of the ball, right? But I've had some situations in my life, man, where I am so blessed to be here. I'm so blessed to be in the land of the living, man. You don't know. All age means is that I made it to the next level. That's all it means. My age is a blessing, man. I'm so glad to still even be alive, bro. For real. I'm so glad to see the things I've seen. For real, man. And it is, look, man, getting back to ball. This draft class effectively has done a few things. It has raised the athletic profile of this team, right? It is also gone and freaking created competition in both sides of the trenches. The wide receiver room, there's rampant competition now. I'm going to tell you right now, There's a couple of guys that, you know, are going to have to be on notice because we have a lot of draft picks, right? And that wide receiver room can only be so big. Trey Tucker is a guy. You know, let me tell you something, man. Trey Tucker is a guy, man, where he got to come in and take that next step and show improve. He's got to come in and take that next step. Shout out to my brother Graphic is in a place, man. Shout out to my dog Graph, man. Appreciate you, my dog. Yes, sir. JVG, Devin White going to get a lot of run this year. So I'm guessing, look, Devin White is a guy that I think the situation dictates how well he plays. And by the Raiders going out and addressing that defensive line in a real way, he's definitely going to have a bodyguard to allow him to go out there in space and be a tackling machine. You know, I think Devin White has a resurgence to his career as a top level talent. I really do. I'm really betting and swinging high on Devin White this year. I really believe so, man. And Landon Roberts is no slouch either, man. I think that Pete went out there and got the guys that's going to fit his scheme, man. My guy, Shaw Huggins could have got Shador and Will Howard. That would have been effing incredible. Those last picks pissed me off, to be honest, because Geno and AOC ain't our savior, in our opinion. I mean, Sean, you know what's funny about, you know, the Raiders supposedly needing a savior? Now, two things can be true at the same time. Was I looking for the Raiders to draft a more high-profile youngster at quarterback? Yes, I was, right? Because I'm not the biggest Cam Miller fan, haven't been, you know. But also, maybe the Raiders, and they showed maybe they didn't like this class that freaking much. And maybe they're right. Or maybe these guys don't fit into what they're trying to do. Or maybe, just maybe, there are things that we don't see on the surface that these guys have intimate knowledge of some of these players. Now, I know with Will Howard, having a guy like Chip Kelly who just coached him to a national championship speaks volumes to me. Now, Will Howard is a guy that has so much ability, man. He really does. And he fits well in Pittsburgh. You know, I think Pittsburgh is going to do their big one with that kid, and they're going to develop him. I know they're trying to bring in Aaron Rodgers, but they can do a lot worse than Will Howard. I personally like Will Howard, but maybe it's something where, you know, or maybe Chip doesn't have any swing. Now, with Shador Sanders, right, and I don't really want to talk about this much because he's a Cleveland Brown. God bless him. You know, he's not a Raider, right? I think two things could be true. Do I think people were trying to put the Sanders family in their place? Yes. Do I also think there's some deficiencies there and there's some issues with Shador that maybe we are not privy to? I also believe that as well. So the thing is this, man. He comes with a whole bag of problems that we don't really look at. We don't look at the fact that, you know, if your quarterback has an off game or two because of how famous this kid is, right? Everyone in their mother calling for the head of your quarterback. You know, people calling for the head of your head coach, wanting Prime to come in and coach him. There is a whole nother level that comes along with Shador. And I know that he's going to come into the league and work his ass off, right? And he'll probably get a shot in Cleveland. I don't really see any, you know, besides Dylan Gabriel. You know, Dylan Gabriel was drafted ahead of him. But, you know, I think Shador Sanders is going to have the locker room behind him because of his profile and who he is, right? I think that the fan base of Cleveland is behind him. I think they're going to sell a hell of a lot of jerseys. And I think he's going to have the owner behind him because you can clearly see the owner was the one that pulled the trigger on that pick right there. I'm going to be real with y'all. Shout out to the almost 900 of y'all in the room. Get wasted with your brother, Wasted. Hold on. Let me pull on down here, man. Wait. I've got a big announcement here. Yo, Dante Thornton and Charles Woodson on the show next week. Stay tuned. Let me put that up. Hold on. Did y'all just hear that? This man said he got Charles Woodson and Dante Thornton on his show, bro. Dante Thornton Jr., one of our pretty much, man, the steal of the draft for me, for the Raiders, right? And the great Charles Woodson will be on the Graphic Raiders show this week, man. I mean, it's big things happening over here, man. It is big things happening over here, man. Trying to tell y'all, man. Amazing work, Graf. Amazing work, bro. Amazing work. So let's get back to some of these, man. Now hold on, y'all. Let me read some of these supers. I'm gonna get back to it. You know, we are on location. I don't have my microphone, bro. I feel like a fish out of water, man. I got Leaky T. It was nasty work going on in the media when the meat rod and the F out of Shador the minute the draft started. Bro, look, man. Look, the social media metric applies to all media now. Before, you know, being a provocateur and being like you know, a lightning rod, so to speak, wasn't something that people really got into on television. It was something that you looked and say, yo, that's some social media stuff. But guess what, guys? The world is social media. The NFL media, you talk about clickbait, you talk about us, you know, guys that create content on YouTube, you talk about social media platforms, you talk about talking heads on ESPN and all over these networks. These people want engagement, good, bad, or indifferent. And a lot of times, negativity sells, bro. Negativity sells, and a lot of that was salacious. It was something it was almost like people were praying for the kids' downfall, and now it's over, and it really has nothing to do with the Raiders. So F it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. And yo, guys, and I don't know if you guys heard Hunter Renfrow signed with the Panthers, man. Salute to Hunter Renfrow, man. I'm glad Hunter Renfrow had a shot to get back into the National Football League, man. We're definitely going to get into that, yeah. Hold on. My guy Hug D's with the $5 smackaroonie. Al Davis is so happy right now. A 4-3 wide receiver in Thornton, 4-3 DB in Porter, both tall and athletic, pure Al picks. We love you and miss you, Big Al. You damn right, man. You see, this is the thing that I wanted from Pete Carroll, right? And I think the problem is that the Raiders, since post John Gruden, have not had an identity. I think that the coaches that have come behind Al, not Al, but John Gruden, did not lean into what the total identity of the team should and can be, right? I think that, you know, with Josh McDaniels, when you have a coach like Josh McDaniels, who's a very insecure guy, and you can tell he is, right? That was a guy that the metric for what a Raider should be changed. And I think that, you know, he had more of a mentality of a Patriot mentality. And you know what? That mentality works when you locate the quarterback. We have a star quarterback. You can bargain basement shop. You can get glue guys. You can get guys who are hard workers and guys who study hard and choir boys when you have a star quarterback. You can't do that when you don't have a good enough roster and you don't have a stud quarterback. So when you have those glue guys, you have those guys that are okay, and you don't have a stud quarterback, bro, you know what you get? You get a bad football team drafting good character guys. Sometimes you got to get that flashy wide receiver that runs that 4-3 and a 6-5. Sometimes you got to take that pain in the ass defensive end. Sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes you got to get people get a little dirty. Sorry. I am sorry, man. Hold on, man. So we're going to get back at it. Hold on. Let me get through some of these supers. My guy Josh Chomper with the $5 smackaroonie. Can't wait to see Pegasus at fullback, Jeanty at running back combo. Mean effing combo. Salute, Wasted. Salute, Nation. Yeah, you damn right, man. Pegasus was one of my favorite. He's my third favorite pick of this draft, bro. Because, man, let me tell you something. If Pete Carroll has learned nothing from the Super Bowl that he lost to the New England Patriots, if he's ever on a goal line in a situation to win a game, you can damn well better be sure that it's going to be one of them two gentlemen running that football in. Yo, my dog is cooked out ATL, but nah, I'm good, man. I'm good to go, man. I'm good to go, yo. Good to go. My guy loves you, Raiders crazy, man. So I love the draft, but damn, we could have had Will Howard and Shador in the 4th round. And yo, Grim Goldie, let me tell you something. Yeah, we could have, right? But if Pete Carroll and John Spytek and Tom Brady and Chip Kelly and all of the Raiders brass were not in on them guys, it's a reason. Like people, places, and things. Everybody is not a fit for every situation, bro. Talent. Sometimes you have guys that are so talented, they can go to any situation in the National Football League and they'll be successful, right? Then other times you have situations where, especially with quarterbacks, where they have to go to the right situation. They have to go to the right situation. I'm going to say it again, like your life depended on it. They got to go to the right situation, because if they don't go to the right situation, right, and they don't have an organization behind them that believes in them, then now not only do you have a guy who doesn't have people who are trying to acquiesce to his skill set, you have an organization who's just drafting a guy they never believed in the first place. You can't have it, bro. If those guys saw in their infinite wisdom that these players were in their plans, high on their draft boards, I can guarantee you they would be here. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that. I think that when you start talking about this draft, right, you start talking about Pete Carroll, I think Pete Carroll believes he can win a Super Bowl or at least turn this thing around in a major way with Geno Smith. I also believe that they're trying to build a bully the levels of which we haven't seen in a long time with the Raiders, right? And if you look at what Pete Carroll did out in Seattle, right? Russell Wilson by no means was a star. He was a third-round pick. He was, a hell of a quarterback in college, right? But he was by no means, they think he was going to be a star. They thought that Matt Flynn was going to be the starter. And Russell Wilson came in there and beat him out. And when he was first the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, or the Seabags, like I used to call them back when he was in the AFC West, he was pretty pedestrian. Russell Wilson was pedestrian. He was trying to figure it all out. And then as he got, going, a lot of the success of the Seattle Seahawks was because of the defense, the Legion of Boom. It was because of that running game and Marshawn Lynch. And Russell Wilson was a great compliment to that. He was a terrific compliment because of that. But if I'm being honest, Russell Wilson, as he became a guy who had a big profile, as he became a guy who started winning awards and MVPs and winning the Super Bowl, his ego outgrew the program there. And I don't think Pete Carroll wants any parts of that. I think that's part of the reason why he didn't bring us Shador. Now, Will Howard, maybe they're saying a quiet thing out loud that Will Howard's not that good. To me, look, I've always been a believer of, you're a big, strong quarterback. You throw the ball hard, you got wheels, and you work hard, you can be taught. I think Will Howard might be the steal of this draft. I really do. I really do. The Will Howard thing I was surprised about. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. My guy, God, family, and football. Why does it look like you're on a crapper, Wasted? Well, I am definitely not on a crapper. I'm in a gym. I'm in my sister-in-law's gym. See, look. This is her gym, right? This is her gym. This is a little spare room, if you guys want to see, if you will. There's no crapper here. You guys see? See? No crapper here. Look at that. Exercise bike. Give y'all a little glimpse. Nah, that's my sister-in-law. She made a little workout room here. So, everybody, my wife and my daughter and all of them out there, they make a noise. So I came back here. See? So I'm definitely not on a crapper. So get the F up out of here with your crap. God, family, and football. You actually spent 2 smackaroonies for that? The F is wrong with you, man. God! Wow! The F is wrong with you, God, family, and football. Crapping. My guy, Sean Huggins. Our offense definitely got more explosive. Jeanty, Bowers, Jacoby, Thornton, and the Moser pick. Pick your poison. Weapons Chip was going to have on the field on the day scheming. My guy, Rex Randall. What does Sanders do that Geno doesn't do? Nothing. I just think he's a younger player. He's got a lot of upside. And it's good to have a young player like that on your roster, right? To develop. If you see fit. If you see fit. Apparently the Raiders did. I don't want to talk about that kid no more. He's a Brown. F him. He's not over here. After Tush Push, we're gonna have a JJ Pegas for QB sneak. Yo, bro, listen, let me tell you something. Our goal line package is gonna be to the gods. The only thing with Pegas is that I hope he holds on to the football in the National Football League. I'm telling you right now, I hope he just holds on to the ball. But to be right, oh my God, Big Mike Raiders in the place. Shout out to Big Mike. I don't really see the Raiders taking the ball away from, Jeanty in the goal line, bro. Jeanty's pretty stout, man. I don't really see that happening, man. I don't really see that happening, man. Definitely don't see that happening. But yo, we look, listen, man. We are going to get back to it. Hold, let me get down to the bottom of these chats, man. My guy Jamba Juice, wasted. You dropping one? Use a match. Get the F up out of here with your crap. My guy, Raider Food Chris in a place, man. Let me make sure here. You get down here, and then boom, we're gonna get back to it. We're gonna break down some of these picks. Actually, let's do that, man. Right. So look. So our second pick in the draft, man. Jack Beck from TCU, man. I mean, he essentially gave Geno Smith more help. Like, I was wondering when we brought in Geno Smith how we were gonna help Geno. Were we gonna give him a myriad of weapons? Because to be honest with you, that concerned me because the one thing Geno had, he did not have a great offensive line, but he had weapons in Seattle, and that was a reason for his resurgence. So when I'm looking at this roster, I'm like, yo, we don't have no DK Metcalf over here, man. We don't have a Jackson Smith and Jigba. We don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't have that. We don't have a Tyler Lockett here. What the heck are we gonna do? Like, I'm not saying Jacoby. Jacoby is a beast, right? Brock Bowers is a beast. But you need more than that, right? We didn't have a running back. So now we have a guy that is looking to be a special back, right? Right. And then what we did was we outfitted that wide receiver room to me with the probably the second or third best wide receiver in this damn class, man. Now, yo, Jack Beck is like the fifth TCU player in history to record 1,000-yard receiving season. He's the Biletnikoff Award semi-finalist, man. And, he finished sixth in the Big 12 in receiving yards with 1,034 yards. And look, man, he is one of those running back that plays wide receiver like a running back, man. He's one of those big physical blocking running backs who catches everything over the middle, man. Very, very sure-handed, man. And, bro, not only is he is he a guy that's going to come in and produce in a big way, but I think eventually Jack Beck might be the best receiver in that receiving room. He is more than just a depth piece, bro. This guy is a significant upgrade for what we had in our receiver room. He's definitely going to have a meaningful rookie season, man. Just like your life depends on. Now, round 3, this is a Pete Carroll pick to me, right? Darian Porter, cornerback out of Iowa State, man. See, the thing with Porter, man. He's a bit of a fix-me-upper. He's a bit of a project. He started in 7 games in 2024. And during his career at Iowa State, he was one of these guys. I think he's one of these COVID kids. He had a 6-year career. Porter came into the program in 2019, man, as a wide receiver. Then he moved to cornerback, and Porter spent the majority of his college playing career on special teams, right? But the thing is, his athletic profile is what Pete Carroll is after, bro. I mean, the guy is a monster, bro. The kid is a monster, man. He's like 200 pounds. He's damn near 6'4", ran a 4.3. This is a Pete Carroll and Al Davis special. A Pete Carroll and Al Davis special. Shout out to the over 1,000 of y'all in the. Shout out to the over 1,000 of y'all in the room, yo. That's right. No, that wasn't a kitty picture, loser. Nah, my sister-in-law is a nurse and an artist, and yes, that's definitely Michael Jackson. This family, we are big Michael Jackson fans. That's the picture of Captain EO from Disney World. Damn right. We love Michael Jackson. Wasted. You dropping one, use the match. You know what I'm about to drop? I'm about to drop you out of this chat, coach. The F up out of here with your nonsense. What's the chances they just really fell in love with Miller when he visited? He's accurate as any of these QBs, the system-wise. And maybe Kelly thinks he has all the tools to develop. And Raider Paul, that's valid, bro. That's valid. Like, yo, just because we value certain players a certain way doesn't mean that the coaches and the people in the NFL, apparently they don't. There are so many guys that are UDFAs, and we're going to get into that really soon, that we thought were going to be top 100 picks. You got guys that didn't even get drafted. Guys like Kobe Bryant and oh my God, man. So many of these guys. There's nothing wrong with creating another Crockett at the goal line. That was unstoppable. And that's what I'm talking about, yo. But look, I'm going to be real with you, bro. Most of these guys are big physical players, man. That is the archetype, man. That's the archetype. My guy Hug Dizzle, man. Bro, I watched the Beast Mode video. Marshawn said Jeanty runs like a real African. I fell out. Only Marshawn, man. He was blowing up Pete Carroll at the draft, too. He was, man. Everybody's excited about this. Like, people who aren't excited about this, bro, they like you have a section of football fans nowadays that try to outsmart themselves with conventional wisdom. Sometimes conventional wisdom goes out the window when you see somebody who's a one-of-one, a special talent. Sometimes it goes out the freaking window. Oh, you don't draft a you don't draft the running back that high when they're not the guy. But almost every year at every draft, bro, like when Saquon Barkley came out, oh, you don't draft him high, like, bro. Yeah, you do draft him because look what he became. And I know, oh, well, he's not on the Giants. He didn't do it with the Giants. If the Giants were smart and did not sign Daniel Jones to the deal that they did, and saw that Daniel Jones was not developing in the way that they thought and brought us for competition and possibly got rid of him, the Saquon Barkley situation would have worked out a lot better. Would have worked out a lot better, yo. Yo, my guy, Mr. Cold-Blooded Cream Corn is in the place, man. School, sorry I'm late coming on, but I thought this was the best draft we had in over 20 years. I'd like to really get an overall grade on the draft, bro. I give this draft, man, as of right now. And look, I don't want to sell too much opium to you guys, right? So I'm going to get this draft A-, B+. And matter of fact, I'll give it a B+. I'm going to give it a B+ because I would have liked for them to, address the quarterback a little earlier in this draft. But other than that, this draft was phenomenal. Julio, Amen. What's the deal? What's up, Wasted? Didn't mean no hate. I was just acting a fool. But I do believe in the building a depth team we're building a depth team the right way. Nah, it's all cool, Julio, man. Shout out to you, man. We all have fun over here, man. That's what we do here, bro. This is what we do. Not gonna lie, Brock Bowers is better than every wide receiver you mentioned. He's a true tight end, but I don't give a F. He's a better catcher of the ball than 95% of the wide receivers in the league. Bro, this is the thing with Brock Bowers. Now, Brock Bowers, do I think that he is a phenomenal talent? It is looking like he might be the best receiver in this league, but we also got to give him time. I think that, there have been a lot of guys that come and take the league by storm in 1 year, and then they fall off the face of the earth. Now, I don't think that's going to happen with Brock. Don't get me wrong, but we got to see. If you guys call me an old man, if I've seen nothing over the years in the National Football League, the second year is to tell whether somebody's going to be a superstar or not. I got Animated 8. What's up, man? I'm a late comer, so you might have discussed this, but do you think the Raiders got the best pick with Jeanty? I think the Raiders got the best pick at 6 that they possibly could, and I think that he's one of the 3 best players in his draft. So for the Raiders, he was definitely the best pick at number 1. I didn't see anybody else that really fit unless Abdul Carter fell to us. That's pretty much how I saw it, man. My God, James Williams. Did anyone understand the Pete Carroll hints? No, I didn't, bro. I didn't. You had a lot of people, bro. Like people was up there trying to guess the Pete Carroll hints like Kendrick Lamar bars. It's like, bro, and then after they hit, yeah, that's what he meant. Because when you saw the snicker wrapper on the ground, that means he was going to draft a chocolate running back. And that's why he got Ashton Jeanty. Because if he drafted a chocolate running back, he was going to go nuts in this offense. It's like, man, get the F up out of here, man. Y'all jokers are just making shit up. Y'all don't know what the F he meant by that crap. Hell no, I ain't think they. Hell to the no, yo. Hell no, I don't think they did. I got to make sure I got to all y'all supers, man. But yeah, man. So let's get through the draft class, right? So we got into Caleb Rogers previously. I want to get into round 3, our second pick in round 3. Charles Grant out of William & Mary. Now, this is a guy that Charles Grant is a project too. He's a guy that they are going to have to develop. But if I'm being honest, man, Charles Grant, I feel like is the heir apparent to Colton Miller. I think he's being drafted for that. He's a big, big physical guy, man. He's a legitimate tackle, 6'5", long wingspan. He is not a guy I see the Raiders changing to guard. And I'm going to be real with you. With Colton Miller's contract situation up in the air, the Raiders had to go out there and address the offensive line just to hedge their bet, just in case that, Colton Miller's ask is a little too high for the Raiders. If you're asking me what I think the Raiders are going to sign Colton Miller, right? But they had to address offensive tackle at this point. They had to, man. And the thing that I love is that Grant will have a chance to compete at left and right tackle down the road. He is a guy that is big. He's physical. He's athletic, quick, and he's one of these guys that come from a small school in William & Mary, FCS school, that has the big time school talent, but somewhere along the line there was a delineation of what they thought he can do, and it's going to be a bit of a learning curve, man. It's going to be a learning curve. He's not coming from a Power 5 conference here, right? But he's one of my favorite picks in this draft. The kid is a mauler, and I really, really think we got a gem in him. Now, to me, the biggest steal in this draft, both steals in this draft, right, are in the 4th round. And the first guy is a guy that I picked in every mock draft I did this year, damn near, is Dante Thornton. Look, we needed to address that wide receiver room in a real way. We also needed to bring in that talent, bro, that a lot of other people have in their locker room. We had to bring in that true big body, fast X receiver. And listen, let me tell you something. Dante Thornton fits the bill in droves, man. This guy is the 6'5" guy. He had 661 yards in 2024. He has big play potential, man. He led the nation in average yards per catch for 25.4, and he also led the nation for 50-plus yard catches with 6. So this is a guy that is a home run threat that the Raiders haven't had in a long time, and I think Dante Thornton is really, really, really going to take this offense to the next level. I really, really do, man. That was a phenomenal pick by the Raiders, and that was made from the heavens. I think that my guy Al Davis probably called down from heaven and said, Pete, make sure you go and take Dante Thornton. My guy AP gifting 10 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships for the masses. Appreciate you, my dog. Appreciate you for supporting the channel. Everybody who got a membership from my guy AP, man, make sure that you thank him in the chat and thank the mod fathers too, man. Appreciate you, man. My guy Hug Dizzle, man. Something none of us want to talk about, I'm worried about, is Wilkins with that boot and drafting 2 defensive tackles. Now, Hug D's, I think we do need to talk about it. I think we do. Right? And we're going to talk about it. Let me get through the draft picks. And guys, listen, we've been going almost an hour, and I'm not even going nowhere. We're going to keep rocking and rolling. Let's get through these draft picks. We're going to get to the UDFAs, and we are definitely going to talk about the Christian Wilkins situation. Now, in the 4th round with the 135th pick, we took Tonka Hemingway out of South Carolina. listen, Hemingway is the second defensive player taken in the draft, right? And what he provides is depth, and he's a guy that is very, very versatile, right? Now, he is a defensive tackle that really is a three technique. He's a guy who shows his ability by getting after the quarterback. He had 9.5 sacks in the last 3 years, including 4 in 2024. So he turned it up. This is a guy that is going to be a steal on our defensive line, and him playing with a guy like a Christian Wilkins, if Christian Wilkins is healthy enough, and also playing next to a guy like Adam Butler, man. Adam Butler gets after that quarterback, man. So he has the perfect guys to mentor him in Pete Carroll's defense, man. Now in round 6, we moved up. I guess we moved up, got rid of our 5th, and we didn't have a 5th round pick, so we got 3 6th round picks. And with our first 6th round pick, we took J.J. Pegas out of Ole Miss. Now, this is a guy that also addresses the trenches. This is a guy who is super athletic for his size. He was named all SEC third team. He totaled 14.5 sacks and 14.5 tackles for a loss. He had 15 run stops. He also lined up as fullback in goal line shortage situations. Pegas recorded 7 rushing touchdowns, the second most on the team and the most in the season by any FBS defensive lineman over the last 25 years. So this guy's a special case. Now, the thing with Pegas is this. I don't know how much the Raiders are going to utilize that. But what I do know is I saw a highlight reel of this guy running a football and doing a spin move at that freaking size. And that is a scary, scary proposition. A scary proposition. Now, with our other 6th round pick, touchdown, Tommy Millette, Montana State. Millette is going to be a wide receiver, man. And let me tell you something. When he's at Miami State, Montana State, he had 3,523 rushing yards and 5,800 passing yards. Let me tell you something. Millette participated in wide receiver and punt return drills at his pro day. So he's pretty much calling the shot and letting you know what's going to happen. Now, I was talking about this with Graf earlier today, right? And we were talking about whose team it is and all this other stuff. Let me tell you something. This, and I give Graf his credit. This was a Tom Brady pick right here, y'all. This was a Tom Brady pick. This kid is exactly who Julian Edelman was before he came to the National Football League. Exactly, bro, to the T. Former quarterback, turned wide receiver, turned slot monster. This kid is a Tom Brady pick like your life depended on it. You ain't got to tell me no different, man. You ain't got to tell me no different. Graf hit that on the head. He hit that on the head, man. This guy it's the exact same story. Now, is he going to be able to put in the work? Is he going to be able to develop the way that, Julian Edelman was able to kind of rise to the occasion? Now, we got to see. And I think one of the reasons why I think this could be successful is because of having a young receiver from that system, right, that is also one of those Swiss Army knife kind of wide receivers, Jacoby Myers. That is the kind of mentor that a player like that didn't play that position in college needs. 100%. And I'm going to tell you something, man. There were a lot of people on this team last year that got drafted and they were low draft picks. Let me tell you something, man. These guys better, this regime owes you nothing. This regime owes you nothing. And they will bring their guys in. They will bring their guys in. They will get rid of your ass. So there's certain guys, man, that got to wake up, man. Zeus need to wake up. Zamir White got to wake up, bro. Dylan Labe was a rookie last year. I'm not going to say got to wake up, but he got to understand what time it is. This competition at its finest. The Raiders don't have a whole lot invested in Dylan Labe. They can get rid of him at any time. So, look, man, I'm going to be real with you, man. These guys got to, they just better. They just better. I'm going to tell you something like my man Matt Marinovich said, man. Yo, Zeus better step up and open his eyes. He damn sure well better. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if he don't, he won't be here. He damn sure well better. Now, look, Tommy Millette with the number 215 pick, the Raiders select Cam Miller out of North Dakota State. Now, look, everybody and their mother had the Raiders added to the quarterback, right? And when he took Millette, you kind of knew he's not going to be a quarterback, right? And then you start wondering, why did they not take guys like Will Howard? Why didn't they take Dylan Gay? Why didn't they take this one, that one? So to me, I looked at it like, man, maybe they're not interested in this class. But then I say to myself, they took this kid Cam Miller out of North Dakota State. And I say to myself, well, Trey Lance is from there, right? And Trey Lance, to me, is one of the historic draft busts in the last 20 years. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? So when you bring in a guy like a Cam Miller, you wonder, man. This is a guy that, you know, as a starter was 45-11. He won 2 NCAA FCS football championships. He's a winner, right? Got a lot of moxie. So it makes you wonder, man, do they like the archetype of the player? Does he have the guts, the moxie? Like, is that what they're looking for? Carson Wentz too. I forgot. Carson Wentz too. Yeah, man. So look, let me get back into this, man. I'm sorry, y'all. With the 7th pick, the Raiders take linebacker Cody Lindenberg. Now, I would have liked, you guys know, you know, I would have liked for the Raiders to go out there and address the linebacker position. But this, if I'm being honest, was a very top-heavy positional group. There were not a lot of options here at linebacker. This is a 7th-round pick. This is a guy that, you know, at best, hopefully he can round into being a damn good special team player or a starter. But I'm not really, you know, expecting a whole lot out of Cody Lindenberg. Inside linebacker, you know, that was an area of need. We went out there, got Devin White and Atlanta Roberts. And they're expected to start, man, but you need some depth there. And Lindenberg can serve as a backup. And to be real with you, I think this is one of those guys that if he's going to make this football team, it has to be in special teams. Now, look, he totaled 94 tackles and 6 pass defense. So this is a guy who played well. He played well in college, man. Played well. So those were our draft picks, right? So now let's get into some of the UDFAs. And I love some of the Raiders, you know, picks. Some of these UDFAs, I'm telling you right now, they're going to be a problem for some of these guys on this roster. Now, the Raiders signed 11 UDFAs, right? 11. So let's get into it, right? They got Josh Joyner from Florida State. Josh Joyner is a talented young edge rusher, man. Very talented. I'm stoked about bringing in Josh Joyner. Matt Jones from Baylor. Offensive tackle Parker Clemens at Virginia Tech. Now, the best signing besides Josh Joyner, to me, and there's a couple of them, right? But Mello Dotson, man, was a big signing for the Raiders, man. Big signing for the Raiders, man. I think Mello Dotson, bro, can really push to get on this roster, man. I can't believe that guy didn't get drafted. I can't believe it, bro. I just assumed because they texted me and told me Mello Dotson was on the Raiders, and I just assumed that he got drafted. A lot of these guys that were still out there, bro, because, you know, I was in and out one of the days. You know, I was there the first day of the draft, the second day of the draft, and then, you know, the last day of the draft, Saturday, I was at, you know, on campus with my daughter, so I was like trying to keep up. But yo, some of these guys that I saw at UDFAs, I'm like, man, holy crap. How the hell are these guys still available? But that Mello Dawson is a freaking steal. That dude is a steal, man. Yo, he was at Kansas for 5 years, man. As a senior, man, he led the Big 12 with 5 picks, man. He earned a Walter Camp second team All-America recognition. He was Associated Press third team. And he picked off 12 passes during his career, man, and returned 4 of them for the touchdown. So he's one of them guys, man, that he gets his hand on the ball. Yo, it might be a house call. Now he's another big corner, bro. Dude is 6'1", 192, 31-inch arms, man. Like, and this is a guy who was a ball hawking corner, bro. Now, this is the problem with Mello Dotson. And this is one of the reasons why I think he didn't get drafted. 4'5", 40. Now, there have not been a lot of 4'5" corners in the last 20 years that have been super successful in the NFL. You know, 4'5", you know, 4'5", you got to be kind of a sub 4'5" guy to be successful. But guess what? He's got a lot of agility, jump super high, and I think he is going to be the kind of guy that can develop into a possible high-end backup and or starter. I am shocked this guy didn't get drafted, and I really think it's not that, you know, he might get beat deep, but his technique is so good. A lot of the times when he's on people, he's knocking that ball away. He's being physical. He's not even allowing you to really, really, really get to the top of your route and be successful, man. So this is a still. I think he makes the team definitely. My guy, simple as that. Wasted. Which player is the biggest loser following the draft? Cut can 8, my G. Look, bro, I'm gonna be real with you. I think Zamir White. I think, you know, our number 1 pick was a running back, right? We brought in Raheem Mostert. So they're already telling you right then and there what they think of Zamir White. They drafted with their first round pick a guy who is a generational guy, and they drafted one of the good running back backups in this league, and Raheem Mostert. And then you have a Sincere McCormick who unilaterally outplayed you the times he got in the game. So if I'm being honest, I think it's Zeus, bro. Zeus is in trouble. Zeus is in trouble, man. And I think Theron Munford is in trouble as well. The F. UA Mel, come to the front of the congregation. F and UA Mel. Where's UA Mel at? UA Mel, you will come to the front of the congregation before Raider Nation Unlimited right now and explain yourself. UA Mel, you will explain yourself right effing now. UA Mel, explain yourself, explain your disdain for the Ashton Jeanty pick. Hey, man, UA, what's going on, bro? You all right, bro? Right. It's a family show, but Rudy the Vet Russo with a public service announcement. MILFs are the best. Yes, they are Rudy the Vet Russo. UML, Mimbu, Trayvon Henderson, Jeanty, Rogers, and Grant. Now, bro, look, I don't know how good Mimbu's going to be. I don't know. But what I will tell you is, UML, you're going to see what you get with Jeanty. I think that you're going to be washing your mouth out with soap during this season. The F is wrong with you, UML. I thought once he got drafted, you would get off of this high horse. We went out there, we addressed the trenches, and it's still not good enough for you. The F is wrong with you, UA Mel. UA Mel, you know what, man? Hey, Jersey King, Brandon, do me a favor, man. When holler at me about the Jeanty jersey. We are going to get UA Mel a Jeanty jersey like your life depended on it. You guys will look correct for 3 seasons, maybe. But you wait, if I'm being real, bro, I'm not looking too deep into the season, bro. For what? I can't look 5-10 years down the line. I'll be happy as hell if we're good 3 years in a row. My guy, Michael Van Engelhoort. Pat Conroy as a fullback, elite RAS metrics. That's a fact, bro. What's your most interesting pick? It's Smollett for me as a QB who ran a 40 and a 4.3. Yo, my most interesting pick is Pegasus, man. Pegasus is my most interesting pick because he's a guy that is gonna really like he's our low budget version of Travis Hunter. He's gonna play on both sides of the ball. He's a thick frame Travis Hunter, a thick frame Pat. Yo, that is my guy, bro. That is my guy, bro. But you know what? Let me get back to the UDFAs, man. Let me get back to the UDFAs. Now, Ja Joyner, beast. You know, Matt Jones out of Baylor. Parker Clements was a damn good pickup. Trevor May, I am not really familiar with him from Baylor. Was not really familiar with her. Carter Runyon from Townsend State, not familiar with him. Jackson Harford out of Iowa State, offensive lineman, not familiar with him. Hudson Clark, DB, familiar with him. Okay, probably going to be a cut candidate. John Humphrey from USC. Jalen Walker, linebacker of Indiana. I think he might make the team. I'm a big fan of that kid. And, yo, Pat Conroy, man. Old Dominion, tight end. He is going to be the new Frank Wycheck. I think they're going to use him as a fullback. And yo, the to me, a sneaky good pickup was Hallie Malik Williams from UNLV. Ricky White's running mate, good young quarterback. He's got some wheels on him. You know, I want to see how that turns out. You know, once he gets his hands and gets on the field in preseason, I want to see how those skills translate to the National Football League. My guy, Marvel Master, yo. I knew this draft was weak compared to others, but it was weird that a lot of the most talked about QBs fell so hard. And players like Shuck got drafted before a lot more light quarterbacks. Well, look, it's fit, right? Fit is important. Fit's important. And I think people, because I think executives and stuff like that, they get caught up in the hype. They get caught up in guys' college careers. They get caught up in what conventional wisdom is. I think because when you go against the grain and it doesn't work, you have everybody like a lynch mob freaking at the door, pitchforks and burning sticks, trying to take you out and trying to get your job from you. So a lot of these guys go. Look, Howie Roseman's always done. Howie Roseman very rarely drafts anybody that's unknown. He always drafts these high profile picks, gets all these picks, does all this gematria, and builds a team through free agency. I'm telling you right now, bro. Yo, shout out to the chat. Get wasted with your brother Wasted. Tell a friend. Tell a effing friend, man. Oh my God. I don't know what the hell is going on here. Yeah, Pat Conroy is a fullback, elite RAS metrics. You damn right. The truth for how long? What you mean, bro? What you mean? Look, bro, UA. Like I told you, bro, I'm not looking 8 years down the line, bro. Would it be good if some of these guys are still on the team? Cool. Yo, my shelf life for all these players is 3, 4, 5 years. That's the shelf life, bro. If you get anything out of that, now you got a Raider immortal, right? Rookie contract, maybe a year after that, then boom. But hopefully he's good enough to where, the Raiders have won. They show what it looks like to take a running back high. And I don't think by the middle of this year, anybody's going to question the Raiders for taking that kid. And you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Because if they wouldn't have picked them, then everybody be like, I don't understand why the Raiders not picking them. Yo, my guy Omar, I was against 99% of what the Raiders done since Al died. Right when we went to the offense and ranked top when we don't draft defense. We draft bust and the Eagles draft defense with high picks. We'll never do it. Bro, you got to have faith. You got some people that know what they're doing behind the wheel. I mean, I don't know how you got. Let me ask y'all something. How do you guys feel as far as John Spytek's ability, as far as Pete Carroll's ability? Like, how are you guys feeling about the team as a whole? How far do you guys think you see this roster going based off of, and it's hard to say that, right? Because we got to see who made the team, how good they are. But let me ask you guys something. Like, how are you feeling? How are you guys feeling about it? How are you guys feeling about, John Spytek's job? How are you guys feeling about Pete Carroll? How are you guys feeling about the players we took? Like, how are you guys feeling about this? My guy Marvel Master, is Shedeur Sanders drop off in the draft one of the biggest falls for a QB? Not saying he's going to be good, but he went from top 3 overall draft pick to round 5 in 2 weeks. Now, bro, this is the thing. A lot of what happens in organizations, right? You have information that is leaked to reporters and insiders, right? Now, there's certain people that have certain relationships with certain writers. So I get it. And what winds up happening is a lot of times these guys in these organizations feed stories to insiders and to media outlets. And all of the smoke around Shedeur Sanders, some of it seemed like a hit job, right? And some of it might be true. Some of it might be true, bro. And Bushido Brown, he is hard to bring down. That is the when Pete Carroll says compete, the next thing he should be saying is run through a mother effer face, because that is what this team is going to do, my brother. These guys that are out here, they are ready and viable, man. So let me see what everybody say. Pete Carroll runs a running back by committee backfield, will not be running the kneecaps off of Jeanty. That's facts. Buck Nasty, one of the time haters, is in a place, man. Because this draft was fantastic. Hold on, man. This draft was fantastic. I don't know why people say otherwise. Tampa-based system, when it comes from, they retain a lot of guys. They drafted because the talent is great. Now listen, man, shut your ass up before I stick my foot up your ass and show you inside some style. That was Charlie Murphy, everybody. Charlie Murphy from way from the great beyond. Charlie Murphy, everybody. Wasted. Does Ashton Jeanty remind you more of Jamal Charles with his speed and explosiveness with the ball? Nah, he reminds me, really, man. He reminds me of LaDainian. He reminds me a lot of LaDainian Tomlinson. Yeah, Jamal Charles was like a one-cut running back, man. That dude was fast as hell, bro. Yeah, nah, Jamal Charles didn't run as hard as this kid, bro. But he was explosive. But he reminds me more of LT. He said, hey. Shout out to y'all, yo. The GOAT Charlie Murphy, yo. Said Melbourne hasn't proved anything. Bad pick by them. Why? What did Fuaga do last year? Zero impact. Bowers was a way better pick. Listen, bro. Look. Like I said before, people, places, and things. Some of these guys don't fit every team in every scenario, dude. They don't. And it's okay. It's okay. Stop with the Sanders bullshit. He isn't a Raider. He never was a first-round talent. He was a social media creator that was at best a backup in the league. And even if he makes the Browns. Now, Kenny, P9, this is what I'm going to need you to do.
Angry man, what you doing here? Man, sit your ass down.
Kenny, sit your ass down, man. Get the F up out of here. Trying to tell me what to F and talk about. This is the Wasted Talent Show. Not the Kenny P99 show. Talk about whatever the F we want over here, God damn it. Now, this is a family show. You got me up here cussing and stuff. I I'm not at home right now. I don't want to be making noise all in my sister-in-law house, yelling and screaming like a damn maniac. Now, some of what you said was true. Some of it. But not all of it, Kenny P. Better get the F up out of here with your crap. Let's get back to Raider ball here. F is wrong with me, man. Yo, Quadre Sam Shadim said, Jeanty gives me a chub. Nah, he reminds me of Nick Chubb. Nah, bro. Nah. Yo, you got to chill, Quadre. You got to chill, bro. But yo, guys say, Sante, look, bro, I said this early in the show, bro. Dude's not a Raider. But I think people are going a little too hard on dude, bro. My guy, UA Mel. Don't forget, Kelsey's career was going nowhere fast until Andy Reid and Mahomes got there. Bauer's career depends on what the front office does. Bro, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. It does, but that's with everybody, man. Yo, listen. Congratulations, bro. Congratulations. It's almost like everybody is like they feel vindicated, like they landed on Plymouth Rock. You're like, bro, apparently, and dude, a lot of this stuff in the NFL is based off of how you interview. I think, like a lot of it was peripheral stuff? Yeah, bro, but I don't think it's because he's some bum that should have been drafted. Like, come on, dude. Come on. But get the F up out of here. We ain't talking about him. He ain't on the team. You know we're doing something right when Nick Wright has been a fan of what the Raiders are doing and says he thinks we'll make the playoffs. Well, listen, let me tell you something. That dude, looks like a goddamn toucan. He's a Chief fan. He's a filthy Chiefs fan. F Nick Wright. And F all his takes. F it. Do you think Zeus makes it in time? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Zamir White makes this roster, bro. Look, man, and see, this is the thing. Yo, what man said, Moo M. He goes, yo, Mel got rid of PTSD bad. Give them credit this way. The better front office. All you can tell. Wait. Yo, Mel got rid of PTSD bad. Just give them credit. This is a way better front office. All overall. You could tell they know what they're doing. And that's a fact. That's a fact. But yo, you can't look, UA Mel got rid of PTSD. Shout out to UA Mel. Shout out to UA Mel. I'm not mad at him. If he has rated PTSD, we are his therapy over here. He is welcome at all time, man. Look, listen, I would love if Zamir White can turn into a second or third string back and be a factor. Because he has a hell of a lot of God-given ability. I just think that there is some deficiencies there, bro. Maybe in this scheme, those deficiencies won't loom as large. He can play well for Pete. Yeah, listen, that's on me. The punctuation is a little crazy, but that's on me, man. That's on me, bro. And yes, he does look like Toucan Scan. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I can tell you something, man. Nick Wright has missed his. Let me tell you something. That guy missed his calling, man. He missed his calling as a woodpecker. Unbelievable, yo. Do you think we can get anything good for our running backs? No, I don't. I don't think you get anything. All you do is cut them. It's either you're playing or you cutting them. Do I think we're getting anyone else at free agency? Yeah, I do. But I think the Raiders are being methodical, not just running out there and getting people, right? First of all, you got to see who the post June 1st cuts and if it lines up with some of the gaps that you might have on your team, right? then also you got to look at the fact of how some of these young players are performing, right? If some of these guys aren't meeting the expectation, then you would see them come in here and try to scout with a free agent market. But I think the Raiders have done things right. I think they've done things right. Like even with Colton Miller, I think they're doing things right. The two sides have not talked yet. I think that by the time they do talk, Colton Miller will be walking out with a team-friendly deal. He'll be staying with the Raiders. Who is Nick Wright? Nick Wright is the bird beak on Fox Sports Network, Rudy. I mean, my God. I mean, the guy looks like a clown with no makeup. Street professor. Do I think Jalen Ramsey's still an option? No, I don't. I don't, because if you sign Jalen Ramsey in the rest of this draft class, there's like almost no money left over anybody. That's a big contract to bring in for a 30-something-year-old guy. It would be like if the Raiders didn't address the cornerback room. They got a young cornerback room. I would like to see a vet like him there, but I would prefer if he was in free agency so we can kind of negotiate the right kind of a deal with him. Us having to eat a lot of that bad contract that he got with Miami is not something I'm interested in. And I love, and let me tell you something, I love Jalen Ramsey. I've always wanted him to be a Raider, but you know. Wasted. Hook up that PS5 and get knocked out on the Undisputed game. Del State First Rated. Listen, bro, I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to tell you something, bro. My shit's sharp in any boxing game. So I'm going to buy the game because I don't have it, right? I haven't been playing video games for a while. You know what I'm saying? I don't be having the time to play video games. But if I sit down with that damn video game, I'm going to beat the brakes off you, Del State First Rated. I am going to beat the living daylights out of your creative player, because now I'm going to spend every waking moment and every moment of free time that I have learning how to get good at that game so that I can whoop you live on PlayStation 5. Get the F up out of here, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I heard about the Chief, the ref that got fired because of the Chiefs. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yo, my guy Ray Deloso, yo, he said since Atari came out, it's crazy. Damn, how old do y'all think I am, man? Get the F up out of here. Rudy said my old ass fingers don't work. So, Rudy, you gotta chill. Rudy, you gotta chill. Rudy, you about to get unceremoniously blocked talking to me like that, bro. Yo, listen, you gotta chill. You gotta chill, pause, and everything. Don't be worried about what my fingers do. God damn it. I can't. God! Wow! Up out of here with your crap, Rudy.
What's the tutorial that says you know what the fuck you doing?
What I mean? The F is wrong with you, Rudy. Talk about my damn fingers. Yeah, I gotta chill, man. So hold on, man. Let's get into some more show, man. Man, this has been a terrific show so far, man. I think, man, it's been good to tap in with y'all, man. So good to tap in with the Raider family, man. I've been kind of out of it, man, because I've been down with my wife, man, and with my daughter, you know. But yeah, the Hunter Renfrow situation, man, it's good to see Hunter Renfrow back in the league, man. You know, Hunter Renfrow signed with the Carolina Panthers. Salute to Hunter Renfrow. This is as per Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissaro, man. He met with the Raiders in a new regime, and Renfrow was viewed as unlikely to be re-signed. But the Panthers will give the former 1,000-yard receiver and pass catcher a shot with the team since, you know, announcing the signing. This is a terrific move because, you know, the one thing about Bryce Young that I do like, he throws a very catchable and accurate ball. And a guy like Hunter Renfrow, he does a lot of off-schedule stuff, and Hunter Renfrow thrives off of that. And I don't think Bryce Young is going to put Hunter Renfrow in a situation that's going to hurt him, man. I'm telling you right now. And, you know, I wanted to get into the Cam Miller situation, right? A lot of people were wondering why the Raiders took Cam Miller, man. We knew the Raiders needed a quarterback and should probably bring one in, right? But most people would say, why Cam Miller? Now, apparently, when the Raiders picked him, they saw something special in him, man. He's going to be a guy that they're going to stash away and really develop in a real way. And the thing is, he has all the physical tools, bro. Like that's the thing. He has a lot of physical tools. He has a lot of physical tools, man. Tough as nails. Has good wheels, good arm, right? And look, man, having Tom Brady be in the building, I know that if anything, Tom Brady, this is a pick that Tom Brady had a lot to do with, right? I mean, because every conversation that people have had in that building, they talk about how they want to bring in people who are winners, right? People who have been accustomed to being used in game-winning situations, man. People who have that X factor. And I think that's what they saw in this kid, right? And I know they spoke to Brady, man. I know they did. The regime wants a certain kind of player. They have their idea for what a Raider looks like. And I love that they're standing pat and sticking firm with that. They're not just going around and drafting and bringing all this hodgepodge of guys that don't fit with one common goal and one common, thread. I just love what's going on here, man. It's very, very cohesive what they got going on here. Very cohesive. Everything is lining up, man, the kind of players that they're bringing in. Now, look, another kid that they brought in at quarterback, and I don't know if he's going to make the roster, is, Hodge Malik Williams, and we were talking about this. He's a UDFA. He's not going to have to travel real far. This is a perfect camp body to bring in, right? And I'm hoping that he's able to maybe stick on, man. He went 8-3. He led UNLV to the Mountain West Championship game. He didn't start the season. Williams helped author, the best year in UNLV football history, man. And he'd be an older rookie. He'd be kind of like Tyler Shuck. He's a 25-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? That's probably why he went undrafted, right? But he possesses some wheels on him, man. He's a dual threat guy, man. He could probably have 28 touchdowns last season, 19 touching, 9 rushing. He also had 851 yards on the ground, and it remains to be seen, man, whether the Raiders are going to keep him at quarterback or think about moving him to another position. But I would probably swing on him being a camp body. I would probably swing on that, man. Yo, shout out to the new members, yo. Get wasted with your brother, wasted. Damn, we still got, 1,000 people in the room, man. Moo M. Pete going to lead this team with the quarterback of the future. He's a very intelligent guy. I just hope his replacement can keep the momentum going. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think so too. I think Pete's gonna be fine, but he hasn't coached one game for us. I'm not even looking for when he's gonna leave. I'm living in now right now. Has there ever been a running back with Jeanty's numbers that didn't do good in the NFL? I gotta think, man. There's been some guys that were great in college. I give you an example. A guy like Ron Dane. Ron Dane was an all-time leading rusher, in the the NCAA when he left. He did not do well in the NFL. He didn't do what people thought. You got guys like, Rashawn Salam, who was a monster at Colorado, Heisman Trophy winner, and Rashawn Salam did not do well in the NFL. There's been tons of running backs that have had big college careers that were not successful at the next level. You got Archie Griffin. He won the Heisman Trophy twice, and did not do well in the National Football League. Ohio State's Archie Griffin. It's a lot of guys, man. Plenty of guys ran for 2,000 yards in college. Rashawn Salam comes to mind. Yep, I just said it. Eric sleeping with Bieniemy. Yes. See, the thing about, but Monty Ball didn't go nuts like that in college, Big Mike. Yeah, shit, Reggie bust. Yeah, man. But look, man. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think there's a few things that's at play here. I think that the Raiders believe in Geno, right? I think Pete Carroll believes that he can finish the job with Geno. I really believe that he can finish the job. I also believe that the Raiders, if they're not good, next year is the draft for them. It's a draft for a lot of people. You could tell the way a lot of people moved in this draft that they didn't really like this quarterback rock. And yo, you know why I don't seem pissed? Because I'm not. This was a great draft. Look, I wasn't a big Miller fan, but if this regime likes it, I'm willing to take a try. I wish they would have went out there and got Will Howard or Shador, but that other than that, I have nothing but nothing but right with that. So everybody gassed up next year's class, and all them dudes is ass. Bro, Zach, I don't think so, bro. Look, I like Nussmeier, I like Klubnik, and I like Drew Allure. I like Drew Allure a lot, bro. And Arch Manning, bro. We don't know if Arch is coming out, but if Arch does, man, Arch, look, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Nico nice too. But this is the best draft class I've seen in a while, man. Now, look, bro. When you start talking about Tonka, bro, Tonka is this is a kid, man, that just for our defensive line, right? This is a kid that's a big, fit, physical kid, man, that can get after the quarterback. He has those natural pass rush instincts for a defensive tackle. Playing at South Carolina, man, when he got after the quarterback, man, he had 9.5 sacks in 3 years. Yeah, that's big for a defensive tackle, bro. That is big for a defensive tackle. Big. I mean, bro, in 2023, 2022, he had 15 tackles. 2023, he had 20 tackles, and last year he had 16 tackles, 4 sacks, 1.5 sacks. He had 4 sacks his freshman year. So the guy, look, man, the guy has a nose for hitting the quarterback. He's a depth piece, man. He is the guy that's athletic that you can move around, and he can get it done for you, man. And a lot of this stuff is about depth and balance, bro. Like if you look at what the Eagles did, man, they had so many guys on that line, man. So many guys on that line. I think that's what the Raiders are trying to kind of emulate a little bit. But like when you talk about Tonka Hemingway, right? For me, it's strictly the pass rushing prowess, his wingspan, man. I mean, and the thing is, he's another guy that is an impressive athlete. He has terrific agility, man. He has great acceleration off the football, man, at the line of scrimmage. And you can see it, man. I was watching some. I haven't seen any all 22 on him, but I watched some highlights of the kid, man. He looks like he is just a plus athlete, super disruptive, man. But the thing that he needs to kind of correct, man, and I just from like some of the plays I've seen, I seen them, kind of highlight him. There's some highlight tapes on him and stuff like that. He probably needs to win. This is most of the problem with most defensive tackles. And I don't even really have to look at too much film to see his pad level is an issue and how to use his hands. Those are two of the biggest things. If you can, kind of hold your ground and set the edge, so to speak, and have like the strength and the agility to kind of shed blockers and stuff like that. The technique and pad level is one of the biggest things that you're going to need as a young defensive tackle. But big on the kid. Now there's some guys that is out there, bro. Like Isaiah Bond. He's a guy would like the Raiders to take a flyer on. You guys know I did a super on Bond. I'm big on Bond. I don't think the allegations about him are true. And I hope that he gets a chance to kind of craft his career in the way he sees fit. Isaiah Bond is a guy I would like to see the Raiders add to the wide receiver room. Yeah, y'all naming bust running backs, Curtis Enos, all these guys. Is Daniel Carlson giving up that number 2? I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. But yo, guys, look. I think it's time to wheel the train into the tracks. Over 1,000 of y'all in the room, man. I appreciate y'all for pulling up in here, man. Look, we're going to get back to it. When I get home, I get back in the Wasted Talent Podcast studios. We are going to go even further. I am on location. I had to tap in with y'all after the draft. I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. Y'all do y'all thing, man. Tonight, we're going to be back at y'all the rest of the week. CGR, appreciate you, man. Thank you. I hope that we put on a good show. I try to do the best I can with what I can do. I have my laptop with me. I said, let me run one, man. But salute to every single one of y'all. We are going to talk about some of the people that are available. We're going to break some of the UDFAs down a little bit better than what I did. And y'all be easy. I have a terrific night, man. Love every single one of y'all. Y'all have a freaking terrific night. And I'm going to play the OG music, yo. And I'm going to tell y'all why, man. The OG music just seems right, man. I'm going to take that track and put it over another video, man. But as of right now, y'all get to watch old Raider films. So peace, y'all.